joining us. My name is Quinn, and just as it says here, everyone is welcome and loved here. We'll go ahead and begin service with the San Mujo chant. want to welcome the Buddhas to our temple. We respectfully welcome Amida Buddha to our temple as we scatter flowers of joy. We respectfully welcome the Buddhas of all times and places to our temple as we scatter flowers of joy. Alright, next up we'll go ahead and recite the 6 paramitas. Giving. May I be generous and helpful. Guidance. May I be guided by the Buddhist precepts. Tolerance. May I regard the mistakes of others with sympathy. Perseverance. May I do my best in all things. Meditation. May I reflect deeply on my life through the Buddhist teachings. Insight. May I understand the meaning of Namu Amida Buddhism. And lastly, let's go ahead and go over the Bodhisattva vows. The many beings are numberless. I vow to save them. Greed, hatred, and ignorance rise endlessly. I vow to abandon them. Dharma gates are countless. I vow to wait to them. Buddha's way is unsurpassed. I vow to embody it fully. Alright, thank you all. And with that, I've got one more chant for you. Now, Karuna Hantu Sabe Sata. And that means, may all beings be held in compassion. So we're going to go ahead and recite that 3 times. Karuna Hantu Sabe Sata. Karuna Hantu Sabe Sata. Karuna Hantu Sabe Sata. And welcome to you all. Thank you for joining us today. Beloved Sangha, today we continue the Brahma Vihara series with compassion, or karuna, as we were just saying. Compassion is the trembling of the heart when we witness suffering. It is not pity, but the courageous willingness to walk with another in their pain. Today, we will also connect this to Carl Jung's wounded healing, the insight that our deepest wounds, once transformed, can become the very source of our ability to help others. And with that, I'll go ahead and welcome Aaron up for the next part.
Namaste. Welcome everyone. So the Dharma reflection for today is the Buddha taught us that compassion is our natural response when the heart is awake. It is not selective. It extends to friends, to strangers, and even to enemies. Compassion says, I see your suffering, and I will not turn away. Carl Jung gave us a parallel in the image of the wounded healer. He said that the healer is not one who is untouched by pain, but one who has faced their wounds and turned them into medicine. Our brokenness, when held with compassion, becomes a bridge of understanding. Buddhism and Jung meet here. The Buddha says suffering is universal. No being is ever going to escape it. That is the idea here. Jung says that our very wounds become the channel of empathy. Together they remind us, when we allow compassion to flow through our own pain, we meet the suffering of the world with open arms. So think of a time when your own struggle gave you the ability to comfort others. This is the wounded healer alive within you, and you, and you, me. So the wounded healer alive within you. Today we are honoring that. Thank you.
All right, everyone. It is time for breathwork. Yeah, it is. So what we practice, for those who aren't familiar, we practice the infinity breath. So what that is we start out by breathing out all that stale energy. And then we hold our center. And then for the top loop, we breathe in that bright creator light. And we hold once more. And we continue that pattern. Now, for this, go ahead and close your eyes and imagine that breath as a sideways figure 8 or an infinity loop. As you inhale around the first loop, say inwardly, I breathe in courage. As you exhale around the second loop, I breathe out compassion. Inhale, I breathe in healing. Exhale, I breathe out love. Continue for several seconds. Let the compassion move endlessly in and out of you, healing yourself and extending to others without end. Now go ahead and let Aaron continue with the meditation.
So you can just keep your eyes closed and just continue with following your breath. Bring to mind someone who is struggling right now. Just with your eyes closed, you can just visualize them and just bring that to your mind. Picture them just gently and offer them compassion with these words. May you be free from suffering.
May you be free from
May you
suffering.
find peace.
May you find peace.
May you live with ease.
May you live with ease.
Just continue to follow the loop, the infinity loop with your breath, and just repeat this again with that person that you know is struggling and suffering. And it could be you, it could be a friend, it could be a homeless person that you saw on the street this morning, someone that is in your mind's eye right now, and just send that intention out to them. May I be free from suffering.
May I be free from suffering.
May I find peace.
May I find peace.
May I live with ease.
May I live with ease.
Hi, welcome. You're welcome to have a seat. Yes, you're fine. We are doing a live right now for temple service, so if you pass through, you will be on the live. I'm just letting you know, but feel free to look around. Absolutely. You're always welcome. Come on in. Yes, absolutely. Just continue to focus on your breath. Now you may want to change that over, and somebody, maybe someone that you wouldn't normally think of yourself to send out good positive vibes to. So let's envision someone that maybe hasn't been so easy with you, or someone that may cause you a little bit of drama in your life. And let's send that energy out to them, the same as we did before. May you be free from suffering.
May you be free from suffering.
May you find peace.
May you find peace.
May you live with ease.
May you live with ease.
And just hold that feeling inside of you. Just send sending out from your heart space. Just send that energy out and just watch it stretch and get so big. And now just envision it reaching to the whole world. May we all, and then we can start again. And now just envisioning the whole world. Thank you. May we all be free from suffering.
May we all be free from suffering.
May we all find peace.
May we all find peace.
May we all live with ease.
May we all live with ease.
And I'm just going to give everybody a moment just to vibrate that out from your heart center. Just visualizing that energy field getting bigger and bigger, stretching out. Just going in all directions to everyone in this world. I would like to, and you can continue to meditate. We're going to send some energy healing out. Gwen and I are going to do an attunement around the temple with our patrons that are here and our members, as well as out to you all on the World Wide Web. Thank you for joining us. And if you haven't had a chance to subscribe, if you would like more of the temple service and like to know when we are going live every Sunday at 2:30, if you'll hit the notification bell after you subscribe, then you'll always be reminded when we're about to start. So thank you.
So next up, let's go ahead and
May the sounds that we just shared light and clear your mind.
may this energy release suffering.
May compassion flow freely through you.
Allow the sound and Reiki
Energy as a to linger in silence. So everybody just feel that energy we just shared. Let it lift any undue stresses or pressures, strings of attachment that you're holding onto that are not serving you. Just allow that to release those and just breathe in that freedom from the things that have held you back. You can release them and let go, and this is an opportunity to do so. So if there is anything that is weighing heavy on you, a burden, a blockage, Just allow this moment to take that energy and take it and lighten it up for you. So.
Alright, and next we'd like to introduce you to an intuitive building game. It's something that you can do at home very easily. So what you do is each participant receives a small stone, paper slip, or an object, and you hold this object and silently think of a wound that you've carried. Imagine it glowing with compassion. Then, once everyone has chosen an object.
So at home, if you're on the live, just pick an object, something near you and around you, something that you feel drawn to, and you can also participate.
Right, and once you've picked this and you've felt that feeling, you place your object in a shared bowl or basket.
So let's just give everybody a moment to focus on can you repeat what you have asked Sandra to do?
Okay, so hold this object and silently think of a wound you've carried. Imagine it glowing with compassion.
Basket for everyone. And if you would like to drop that in here, to let go of that energy, just to see it with compassion now. And the same here, just drop that in there and let the divine do its work. So just release yourself and just see whatever that was that has been burdening you, whatever that was that is that wound or scar, just see it in this beautiful little bag here and just see it filled with compassion. And then now we're transforming that. Instead of being a wound, now we've filled it with light, compassion, and it's a lesson for us, something that can help us move forward with wisdom instead of this pain.
All right. And before we get to homework and integration, we can go ahead and
Yes, the Reiki healing of the mind.
Yeah.
And it looks like today we have an understanding class.
Understanding. If you change your reaction by perhaps being more understanding of the other person's position because you realize their perception of it is different from yours, or feeling less threatened by someone's actions by developing more self-confidence and greater self-esteem, or simply by listening to his or her explanation rather than instantly sounding off, then you'll get a whole new set of reactions from the people around you. Alright?
Understanding.
Alright. And with that, we'll go ahead and move on to our homework and integration this week. This week, practice compassion by noticing suffering in daily life, whether in yourself, a stranger, or the world. When you see it, whisper inwardly, may you be free from suffering.
So also this week for homework, if you keep up with your journal, great. If from week to week, that's wonderful. If not, grab a piece of paper right now and just at the top, write a journal prompt. So where did I meet suffering today? Did I meet it with compassion? So I'll give you a second to write that down, and I'll also repeat it. Where did I meet suffering today? Did I meet it with compassion?
Alright, and we also have a bonus practice this week. Each night, place your hand on your heart and say, My wounds are not my weakness. They are my doorway to compassion. All right. Beloved, saying today we deepened our journey into the Brahma Viharas through compassion. The Buddha teaches compassion is the heart's natural response to suffering. Young reminds us that even our wounds can become healing. Together, let us affirm, may all beings be free from suffering. May all beings find peace. May all beings live with ease. Thank you all. And we'll go ahead and show what we offer here at the Lotus Flower Wellness Temple. A little promotional overview. So if you feel like stopping by your neighborhood,
Because they can't see it really super great, so we're just going to tell them what it is.
all right?
So we do workshops, we have healing tonics, we do Reiki, as well as light and sound baths. We have a crystal essential royal sauna. We do creative classes such as sip, paint, and send, candle making workshops, and we also have natural products, so soaps, candles, things like that. We also do oracle readings. We're channelers for oracle readings, and so if you want some guidance, divinely guided, please come in and see us, and you can also reach us online. So,
And for those of you who just came here for temple service, thank you for joining.
please subscribe if you haven't yet. We really appreciate it. And if you're interested in supporting us and the work that we do here, there is a link in the bio, in the description, but it's pay.lotusflowercandle.com/donations. We really appreciate it. So we're going to start on our discussion podcast next. If you would like to hang out with us, just give us a few minutes to set up, and then we're going to go into the discussion podcast. If not, if you're leaving for the day, thank you so much for joining. Namaste. And we will see you next week.
Hope you have a wonderful
Yes,
week.
absolutely. Yes, thank you.
And we'll go ahead and get set up.
All right, give us a few minutes. Thank you. Said Bluetooth was connected, so I'm trusting that actually happened. Okay, I'll switch here just a little. Oh yeah, we're looking pretty good there. Yeah, okay, yeah, and there's even room for me. Yay. All right, so we do have some. Uh-oh. Awesome. She was there for me.
Yeah.
Okay, that's good. And we can all probably just scooch up just a hair. There we go. That keeps you in there. So, welcome to Lotus Flower Wellness Temple Harmony for Humanity podcast, where we discuss temple service for the day, where each person has an opportunity to share their voice, their personal perspective on what we discuss, integration from week to week, and just whatever comes up for us. So, welcome everyone.
Welcome.
I'm Erin.
My name's Quinn.
Awesome. Thank you for joining us, and thanks for staying behind from temple service as well. today was a great temple service. Love the energy, the healing, and all the participation. So we do have a couple discussion questions kind of ready to go here, and I'm going to start with it. So how do you personally define compassion? We're going to start with Quinn here.
Alright. Well, for me, I personally define compassion. It starts as like a feeling, it's just like it is the feeling of wanting to be there for another person, of knowing that someone is in a bad situation or they're going through something, and it's not the same as pity. It's it's wanting to genuinely do something for that person. And compassion is also an action. It's something that we then may act upon. We may show our compassion by, even just being there, by being there to listen to somebody who needs to talk, who needs to get something off their chest. Or we could be more direct, like we can help them out with, specifically, we can offer our aid.
Yes, exactly. Yes, thank you so much. Welcome to Lotus Flower Wellness Temple. Make yourself at home. We're doing a podcast right now, but feel free to ask if you have any questions about anything.
Thank you.
Yes, absolutely. All right, yes, thank you for sharing. So this one's going to be over to you, Miguel. Have you ever experienced your own wounds helping you connect more deeply with someone else?
I would say yes. I've personally went through a lot of pain in my life, physically, emotionally, mentally, and so it's really gotten me to understand other people. Because I walk around myself everywhere. I see just people who are sick, homeless, down a lot. And it's so easy for me to have compassion. Because I understand. I know what it's like to be in a bad position, to just be hurting in every aspect you can think of. And so, it's definitely, me through my own personal stuff. It's really helped me to have compassion. Because me personally, compassion is not really so much a feeling as it is an action. Because compassion, for me, requires unconditional love and unconditional kindness. And so, by me understanding the plights of other people, my own personal suffering, it's a humbling experience that I can look at people who has difficulties that are far greater than mine, but I might have had difficulties that are similar. And so it's just very humbling. And it just allows me to just understand people that hold.
Thank you very much for sharing that. So how does Buddhism's teachings of compassion align with Jung's wounded healer? Does anyone want to take this one?
I'll go ahead. I feel like, the teaching of compassion really helps us to use that the wounds of our past and to recognize that pain in others and to show compassion through that. To understand and see where another person is coming from, see where another person has been hurt, and know to some extent how they feel. Obviously, we all have our own way of experiencing things, so not everybody will feel exactly the same way in painful situations. But at the very least, we have some sense. Something I was watching just the other night was talking about language and how really when we talk to one another, when we describe a story, we're not creating the same image as we have in our head and in our memory and the mind of the other person. They are building that off of their own experiences and off of their own understanding of the language that they're using. So, while we all have our own perspective and our own way of seeing things, we can still try to get close to understanding what another person is going through and what they're struggling with, and how we can be supportive of them.
Yes, awesome. Thank you very much for sharing that. So, what challenges do you face in offering compassion, especially to yourself? What about you, Miguel? Would you like to answer this one?
I would say letting go people, getting to understand them. Because I've never really been a social person, and so it's always much better for me to kind of put myself in other people's shoes, because I've always been pretty stuck with my beliefs when I was younger, and it's always just been hard for me to just grasp that, okay, well, I have this situation, and I don't get why somebody has their situation, and so I kind of, sometimes it's hard for me to get out of my zone of reach, put myself into understanding somebody else, because everyone has their understanding of something, and so we might all have a perspective on how something is, and that doesn't mean that any of us are right or wrong, but it's how we view things. So a lot of times, it's hard for me to get a full understanding, because in a way, everyone's right. It's just a different face of God. There's hundreds of faces, but yet it doesn't mean that, oh, well, there's this person who sees this side, and this person sees this side. We're all going to see parts of it, but most of them aren't going to see the full picture. It's just not possible. How we were raised, our environment, anything else. Certainly, me trying to understand how other people see things aside from my limited perspective can be very challenging. Yeah, definitely understanding for me is very important.
Alright.
Yes, thank you. Yeah, and that tied in also what Quinn was saying, is that no matter what, a lot of times humans have a tendency to think when we speak something to someone that we're literally creating that same picture that we have, that feeling, that visual, the understanding of a situation by our words. And the truth being told is really that each person is going to draw their own conclusions, see things in the way that is aligned with what they've experienced in life, what they what they know in their own life. So as easy as it is for us to think, oh, well, I said it, so obviously now they know, but that's not really the case. People can only really connect with things from a personal experience of how they have viewed things or where they're at that moment. So we can try as much as we want, and we can try to share and get find a place of connection within that, but at the end of the day, even if you think that they get exactly what you're saying, they still have their own idea about it, of how it resonates with them, what they're kind of connecting with as far as even your words. So.
Yeah, and that's part of how we come up with all these different viewpoints and all these different understandings, all these different perspectives. It is something, honestly, to be celebrated, even if, you may be misunderstood at times. It's also what allows us to be innovative and for people to come up with new ideas, and to come up with new thoughts, new patterns, new things to do.
Awesome. Yes. Thank you. All right, and then last question, and then we'll just kind of see where we're at with that and see if anybody wants to talk about any integration or anything like that from last week. So how as a Sangha practice, how as a Sangha can we practice compassion together as a community? Does anyone have anything that they want to say about this one?
I feel like it's something where it's, just as long as you pay attention, pay attention even to just those people who are around you, those people who you know. You don't have to always go outside your comfort zone, but if you feel drawn to, I suggest following that intuition. If you see someone sitting alone and you feel like, oh, well, I really feel like that person could use a friend, maybe follow them. But even just in your everyday life, with your close circle, pay attention to what's going on. Be aware of the situation as much as you can. And when you notice that someone's struggling, someone's having a hard time, maybe go up to them and ask them, hey, what's going on? Is everything okay? It can be as simple as that. Sometimes I just need to say what's on their mind or say what's going on with them. And, in a lot of situations, people show a lot of body language regularly. If someone's having a hard time, they look like it most of the time. They don't look very happy. They don't look very satisfied. Maybe they're dragging their feet a bit. Maybe their shoulders are a little sore. Just keep an eye out, pay attention, and you'll recognize, hey, my friend's not doing something. Something's up. They're not their usual self. And so then you can ask them, hey, what's going on? And maybe you'll be able to do something personally to help them directly. Or maybe you won't. But in any case, even just listening, if they're willing to share with you, that can always help.
Yeah, great, thank you. And the same to you, Miguel. Do you have anything that you would like to say about that specifically, about how the work that we're doing here, how can we kind of translate that out into the community?
Well, I think you can just apply it to anything. It's like I said, it's always been kind of natural for me, always. It's always just be nice.
Yeah.
Just really such an awful upbringing, or they have such an awful hard life, and so sometimes they just don't get any kind of kindness, or they never had anyone they show them love. So more than anything, it's always good to just be nice to just somebody you don't even know. You see some random person, you see some homeless person struggling, someone at your job who's not feeling good. You can tell that there's something wrong with it. It's always good to just something simple, just asking them how they're doing, or asking them what's wrong. You're just giving them something. You give them a snack. Just a little gesture of kindness can just mean a big thing. Just something as simple as just giving a random person a pop tart, telling them, I love you, and not just having to attack them. Because everyone wants to be loved.
Right. And it is something that actually brings to mind, when we are young, it is so easy to make friends, isn't it? Like, you go up to someone, hey, I want to be your friend, or like, you just start playing with them, you just start talking to them, you just share your life with them, or something like that. And really, nothing really changes when you become an adult, except for, the imaginary boundaries that we see between people. You can still go to somebody that you see who is having a bad day, and you're like, hey, want to go out for lunch? If you work with them, want to have lunch together tonight? Or hey, I see you're having a hard time, like, want to talk about it? Just like, you can go up to somebody still and join in and pay attention, like, see they're going through a hard time, you can talk to them, you can listen to them, you can see what they have to say, even if they brush you off, or like, oh, that's nothing, or whatever, it's worth a shot, right? Like, anything, any interaction that you have with somebody can turn into something important.
Right? Maybe just as simple as saying, hey, I noticed that you didn't have as much pep in your step today. If there's anything going on and you would like to talk, I'm here for you. That way you don't feel like you're kind of overstepping any boundaries, but you are opening up that connection to be able to, for them to come to you if they are ready. So that it's just kind of extending that branch there.
Yeah.
And I really liked what Miguel said too, as far as just plain and simple, just being kind to people, having that on, and I do want to give him the good cheers for that, because that's as simple as we can put it. Just being kind to someone, we always have a choice of how we're going to interact with people. Are we going to show them loving kindness, or are we going to take out something that a frustration or something that's going on with us out on this next person that we interact with? And it kind of touches back on that loving kindness, right? But the act of compassion is doing that, right? Putting it into play there, and then also the compassion comes from our own experiences, right? Of having things to be one way, and so now we have compassion because we understand, so we can connect with that and feel how another person may be feeling. And so the love there is saying, hey, I've been here before. I know that this is not a fun place to be in, and you're not alone.
Yeah. And even to go back into that whole bit of the wounded healer, this idea from Carl Jung, it's actually also reflected in astrology. The asteroid Chiron is used widely nowadays to represent the wounded healer in our life. And the sign that it falls in is said to be where we can make the most growth, where we can have the most progress due to it being the trauma and the struggle that we face the most in our life. It's representative of what we have the hardest time with, what hurt us the most. And so, really that speaks to we really can grow the most from where we're hurt the most.
Yeah, I think everybody can say that there's not one person untouched by some sort of suffering, some sort of pain, something that they've been through that wasn't very pleasant, but as they move through it, come through it as a person that has successfully moved through that lower part of that energy to now a place of wisdom about it, right? So it is a special gift that you have. That thing that you went through now is something that you can share with someone else that is going through similar something, and then you gain this compassion. And so that's where we are with it, is that it's not for what you've been through, it's not for just no reason, and suffering is not just meant to, be a thing to hurt you, but it is a part of, our ascension in this life, to be able to grow from things and not kind of take the victim role about it, but then say, oh, I went through this for a reason, and I came out the other side of it, and now I have something that I can share with someone else that may be struggling in that same place, and they might not be where I've gotten to with it. And so now you are able to help that person, and maybe even that love and that compassion that you show them really could help them get to a place where they allow that healing to come within their self and build upon that. And so not only do they have that experience that yes, I can get through it, but now they also learn that compassion, and they may feel inclined to share with someone else. So you're kind of each one sharing with someone else, and so that's how we kind of work together.
Yeah. And another part of that compassion and that healing, understanding of another person who's going through something similar, something you have to know and recognize is how you were when you were in that place. Because sometimes when we're in a dark place, we can't see how there can be. You can't see how we make that next step. And, if you just go to somebody and you're saying, oh, it's easy, you just do this, or, oh, I went through this, here's how I handled it, they're not always going to immediately accept that. But that doesn't mean that we can't be supportive and we can't help them. So just recognize when someone's going through a tough time, that they're not always going to be fully able to accept what you have to offer. And that's part of compassion, just accepting that you're not always going to be able to help them.
They might not be ready to receive it yet either, but you could just be planting a seed that may be there for them later.
Exactly.
So yeah, but you're right. Sometimes when people are in the thick of it, they're not ready to hear anyone's advice. I know we've all been there. Just imagine, remember when you were a kid and adults were telling you, oh, this, I wouldn't do that because this, but you have to kind of experience it before you're just gonna take it and be like, oh yeah, let me save myself from that, so I'm gonna just listen. But that's not always how it works. Sometimes we have to really go through this stuff to be able to grow and learn from it. And there's been times in everyone's life that I know they've had someone say, da 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 da, don't do this, and then you grow up a little bit and you realize, man, that was right. Why couldn't I have listened then? And then you come to a realization is that we have to kind of experience and have our own experience with what is our truth.
Yeah.
We can just take it at
even to give
level.
a little bit of a light-hearted example from when I was a kid, There were times when my parents would try to get me to eat food that didn't look good to me, that I thought I wouldn't like. And so they make me try it. And sometimes I kind of would like it. But I'd never tell them. I'd say, no, I don't like it. See, I told you I wouldn't like it. And, sometimes, like, what someone's saying isn't always what's beneath the surface. Sometimes you really do hit home with what they're saying.
Yeah.
Sometimes they really do hear you, but they're just not willing to admit it yet. Or they're not ready to admit it, ready to understand it. Sometimes they're concerned with how it changes how they're viewed. If they were to say yes, or if they were to agree with you, if they were to change up how they are. It's something that takes time to be able to be like, okay, well, I'm going to change the way that I am. And I'm going to become a different person in front of all the people whom I know, and around all the people I know.
Thank you very much for sharing. And so I feel like we've covered a lot today. Does anyone, as far as talking about temple service specifically today, does anyone have anything with integration or anything that you want to share other than the discussion that we just had?
I'll say that recently, me and Miguel both had some Reiki sessions.
Aw,
So those were really nice. And I feel like that helped a lot with where I am energetically.
awesome. Yes, I'm so glad that you enjoyed. Awesome, yes. And that was Miguel's very first ever. So that was a big step for him. And, anytime you go into something that's unknown, it's probably not going to be like the most comfortable thing, for everyone. We have to kind of like ease in, get more used to things, trying new things. Like you were saying, Gwen, sometimes you are a little on ease when you try something new or whatever. But, so yeah, I was super happy to share the love. And thank you very much for sharing that with everyone. So if we don't have anything else today, I just want you guys to set it for today.
I think that's it for me.
Awesome. Yes. Well, we just want to say thank you so much for joining us today. And we do this every Sunday, so please subscribe and make sure you hit the notification bell so that you always get a reminder whenever we are going to come live. And we just want to say thank you so much. We love you. All right, namaste. So I'm going to leave it on for just a second to check the comments.